Looking to enhance the appeal and performance of your gym with state-of-the-art equipment? Look no further than the Gym Administrator. Founded by Sal Corrente, professional wrestling manager, promoter, and author of the great book Bruno Sammartino, the autobiography of wrestling's living legend, available on Amazon.com, the Gym Administrator will spot you on that final rep and assist you every step of the way from purchase through installation, whether it be strength training, cardiovascular training, or performance enhancement. The Gym Administrator works with a wide array of leading vendors and suppliers, carefully selected to meet the diverse needs of your clientele. Service the way you remember it. Contact us at 914-494-1066 or visit our website at thegymadministrator.com, as well as all social media platforms. The Gym Administrator. All your fitness needs under one roof. Scan the barcode at the bottom of the screen to get started today.
The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
So that is a solid part of this.
Great.
Angry Jimmy. So Angry Jimmy. Tony Khan asked about Ricochet's pro wrestling status. As you know, Ricochet got his ass whooped by Braun Breaker this Monday night. AEW President Tony Khan recently spoke on the Scott Fishman of TVinsider.com and a number of topics, including WWE star Ricochet and Ricochet's status in pro wrestling. Khan says, if it's okay, I'd rather not get into wrestlers that still work for someone else. It is believed that Ricochet's contract is up and his next destination point is AEW. Pharaoh, thoughts on Ricochet, the wrestler, and Ricochet deciding, if this is the case, to move on from the WWE?
Ricochet the wrestler. Ricochet the wrestler is today's prototype of what a certain portion of the fan base looks for. Technically perfect. Holy calisthenics, Batman. The guy can, flip and fly all over the place. He's in good shape. Ricochet the persona. Crap. Can't talk. Doesn't have a convincing manner of speaking. Can't. Oddly enough, in his career, to me, his zenith as far as creatively and how he was being presented appeared in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. He never said a word. He basically never said a word. He wore an awesome Aztec mask, and sometimes a mask works and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it was great. His mask was great. You probably recognize the mask. It was the logo for Lucha Underground. That was his mask design. He was Prince Puma, and he was fantastic. And he was champion, and he was booked as just, that was the style of wrestling that Lucha Underground was presenting most of the time, was that high-flying stuff. And he was the prototype for that. He was perfect at that. But he never came close in WWE, even though he did get his opportunities for nice pushes. He did wrestle Brock Lesnar. Am I right or wrong about that?
You're correct.
He did hold a few titles.
Intercontinental champion, right?
It's not like he didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how he's leaving emotionally. If he's leaving emotionally bitter, we've seen this before. You had your opportunities. Your persona did not get over. You were popular with the fans, though, because you could really go. But you were never going to be what you think you could have been, if that's what he's thinking to himself. Like, I don't think opportunities were denied. I think opportunities were presented, and it only got so far. AEW, you know what's funny? It's ironic. This is the most we'll be talking about Ricochet until he lands there, and then you know the drill. 3 weeks later, we won't be even mentioning him because he's just going to get assimilated into that porridge of, ex-WWE guys with bad booking. And that's going to be it.
Is he being worked? Are we being worked? I'm sorry, Jimmy. As I said, now they're reporting that he's injured off the Braun Breaker attack. Is this just a big game by the WWE?
If you're working us over Ricochet, I'm laughing because, this isn't something I get, emotionally involved in. I'm sure you can tell. I don't care what happens with him one way or the other. CM Punk, yeah, I pay attention. Even Chris Jericho now, I'd pay attention if something controversial was going on, or if he was coming back possibly, or he was in a fallout over at AEW. I'd be interested in a Jericho or a Punk. You're gonna work me on Ricochet? I'm laughing at you. You can't work me on that. I don't give a crap what you do with him.
Here's what I was thinking, Jimmy. So Raw Monday night was an okay show. But the one thing I thought was probably the best, there's a couple of things that were really good about the show. Liv Morgan and Dom Mysterio, they're doing a pretty good job there. But I was very impressed by Samantha Irvin's acting as she gets into the ambulance with Ricochet. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if this girl has this kind of talent acting, and we've had the discussion, is she the greatest ring announcer of all time? I think I saw R.J. Hudson, it was R.J., that said she's an okay announcer. That I totally disagree with. I think she's probably, when it's all said and done, will be considered one of the greatest. But this is where I think you may be wrong, Jimmy, and take me on this one. If they try to entwine Samantha Irvin into this storyline, can Samantha Irvin be the catalyst to make fans like yourself, and including yourself, interested in the character of Ricochet? So let me give you a scenario. He's really not leaving. He signed a contract. Braun Breaker destroyed him. He's really not injured. The next couple of weeks will be filled with Braun Breaker humiliating Samantha Irvin every week, scaring her. Ricochet comes back, and now you have the combo of Samantha Irvin, Ricochet. Does that garner interest for Jimmy Farrow?
As a booker that's looking towards the future of the company, it interests me as a temporary thing. If she really is as good as you say she is on the microphone being a ring announcer, she's in the process of building that career. How much do you want to sidetrack her with Ricochet? Even if he did come back, Braun Breaker must win that feud one way or the other, decisively, just like he did just now. By the way, the best match on Monday Night Raw was nothing that you're mentioning. The best match was when him and Drago destroyed each other. That was great.
Great match.
That wasn't good. That was great. And they murdered each other. And that, to me, is the future of the company, guys like that. And it's always hard to see that at first. Sometimes we don't know what direction they're going in. I remember looking at Edge in the beginning and going, why is he so favored? Eventually, if the booking is right, and it was right for him for how many years, you accept him. I was never a fan, but I accepted him. I feel like in this case with Breaker and guys like Drago, this is the beginning of that process. When the Usos first came out, you remember the Usos when they first came out with their little spiel? Yep. I didn't think that they'd go anywhere near where they've gone today. But they were always booked right, and they were always protected, and they were always part of the vision. So I guess, long story short, I don't see Ricochet being the vision of the future for the company. Samantha Irvin, how would you present her? Are we going to make Ricochet a bad guy, or is he going to stay the baby face during this while his wife weeps over his battered corpse?
Would it be fair to say that Samantha Irvin is completely over with pro wrestling fans right now?
I think she's way over with you. I think she's popular, but she's an announcer, bro. I don't see her as anything more. That was a great job she did crying over his battered corpse. If we'll see where it goes. But Ricochet seems to me like the type who would want to go to AEW and be treated better by, get more love. All right. And he's not going to get it. He's going to get buried.
Let's go with your scenario there. Ricochet, 35 years old. Career's I still can go, but career's winding down. Okay, let's be fair. Ricochet, 40 years old, is not going to be this Ricochet at 35 years old. Now, knowing what you know about the professional wrestling industry and everybody out there watching knows, right?
Yeah.
By the way, Phil says, Jimmy's explanation interpretation is very insightful. Preach, brother. Well, I'm gonna tell you where I think you guys are wrong. He's 35. He's going to go with AEW. And I commend the man because he wants to be more than just – he wants to be remembered for more than he's going to be remembered for right now in his career in the WWE. We know so much about the wrestling world, right? You're in this relationship with Samantha Irvin. You're engaged. This is a case where I feel like absence doesn't make the heart grow fonder. So he goes to AEW. They're on a schedule together now. They're living a blessed life. They're both making money. He decides, hey, I'm going to chase my career. Me and her will make it. Don't worry. It's going to work out. Now, you know wrestler like I know, Jimmy. Everybody knows wrestler like we know. He goes away. The Hawks are coming around. This is a gorgeous lady with tons of talent. It's nothing but disaster for that relationship if he leaves the WWE. Agree with me or don't? What do you think?
It could be. You know, it'd be even cooler if Braun Breaker pulls a Brock Lesnar and takes Samantha Irvin in real life. How you like them apples?
So, is it worth it?
How's that for a storyline for you?
It's not even a storyline. It's a distinct possibility, but here's the issue. Is it worth it for Ricochet to go to AEW and risk losing his relationship just so he thinks that he'll be more respected within the wrestling industry? Listen, he's not going to be Cody Rhodes. You know, sometimes I don't even understand the Cody Rhodes thing, but I've stand corrected at this point. He's actually selling T-shirts with regular sports stars on a high level like he's number 8. I can't argue this, right? They've marketed Cody Rhodes incredibly. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, bro. It's not happening again with a Ricochet at 35 coming back at 39.
Right.
He's not CM Punk. So if you're Ricochet, you want to risk your relationship just to go to AEW and wrestle in New Japan? Now, common thoughts, Jimmy, would be like, well, if it's not going to make it through it, the relationship wasn't worth it. Well, no, that's not the case. When you're away from each other, you're human. Emotions happen. You meet other people. You become attracted to other people in situations where you may not have.
Right.
Is it worth it for Ricochet?
Well, look at it this way. First of all, it goes without saying that we have no clue what goes on between those two and what their relationship is, first off, okay? Daniel Bryan took a risk, didn't he? Would you have gone into AEW and taken all these headshots that he's taken after crying about, you know, how WWE got him concussed and all this other stuff? He had to answer to the Bella twin. They're married in real life. They dealt with it. I don't know the dynamics.
But that's two different things. Brie Bella's at home.
It's a couple. No, it's not two different things. It's a couple that is not on the same schedule anymore. They were at 1.2. They were. They're not on the same schedule. They survived it. All I'm saying is I don't know their dynamic. That's it.
But this is a common sense dynamic, dude. If you're away from each other for an extended amount of time, no matter how strong you look, dude, you've dated 1 million women, right? You understand the concept of this. I'm not saying that they can't withstand it, but the odds are they won't withstand it, and it's a very high level risk in my opinion. And that's my only point. It's like maybe they can, but it's a very high level risk to go to AEW. You follow what I'm saying? He's making lots of money in the WWE. So in the end result, if he goes to AEW, is he going to be remembered as this great wrestler because he went to AEW? Fuck no. It's not like that's going to change.
It's not going to change. You're correct about that. Honestly, look, here's the truth. If either one of us were advising Ricochet, we'd tell him to stay put. He is 35. He's not going to be doing this 10 years from now. He should do this. He could probably do this for another good 5 years. And that's it. Take the money.
Jimmy, I would say book me with Samantha. Let's run this angle, and Samantha will be my manager when I come out to the ring, and she can ring announce the rest of the time. And I'm telling you, that girl is she's so over, dude. And
dude, I have no problem with your idea. I like your idea. I mean, I'd rather see that happen than your other potential real life
I'll ask
scenario.
you this then. You said you're and Samantha Irvin. She's okay, right? You're always like, she's all right, right?
She's good.
Right.
She's good.
Every week Braun Breaker is torturing her, does that sway the Pharaoh to be fine? I know you're a Braun Breaker guy, but eventually you're just like, oh, man, someone's got to whip this dude's ass.
No way. You really think that I'll sit there and go, oh, he's so mean to her, someone's got to whip his ass, go Ricochet? That's not going to happen to me. I'm going to be like, this is great. It'll wrap me into the script for that particular storyline. And as soon as it's over, what do you do with Ricochet? He's not going to be Cody Rhodes, like you said. He's not. So what do you do with him? Because I'll tell you what they're going to do with Braun Breaker. You already know it. You already know it. You see it already.
If you can build a man-woman combination that gets over, Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's go back in time. Macho Man comes in WWE and he chooses Freddie Blassie as his manager, or let's say they even stick with a woman and they give him Missy Hyatt. Is Macho Man the icon that he is under that scenario?
Everything should be left alone. If you tweak anything, then no, everything changes. I don't know to what degree, but the way it turned out, it was perfect. Elizabeth was perfect for him. How about this? Do you have a combo right now that you'd put together outside of this potential one you're naming? Who would you put together? Because let me tell you, the fact that Andrade was never put with Charlotte yet, this is much less sexy than that idea to me.
I'm going to agree with you 100%, and I believe when Charlotte comes back, Andrade and Charlotte will be a mixed match together. She'll be out ringside with him. He'll be out ringside with her.
Do you know how badly I used to secretly wish that Renee would team up with Dean Ambrose? Oh my God, I wanted to see that. So it's not like I don't want to see what you're proposing. I think that'd be fine, But what do you do with him afterwards? That's my question. Because Braun Breaker is clearly heading on a path that we expect him to.
I think is if the idea works and Braun Breaker becomes extremely hated. Again, I'm not saying it works. If it does. And Ricochet returns and Samantha Irvin plays it where she's just being tortured and people are so mad, this could be lights out for Ricochet and Braun Breaker, right? It could be a lights out type of match.
During that program, yes, but what happens afterwards?
I think if the character's strong enough and that combination's strong enough, you could carry on. Or it could end flat and that could be it. I mean, I want to just the president, Phil DeCesare, says out there, the Grand Wizard, if he had lived, would have been a great manager for Macho Man. I'm going to have to disagree with that, dude. I think anything away from Elizabeth would have been an epic fail. Even Missy Hyatt.
I agree with that, too. I do. I don't think anybody outside of Elizabeth would have been able to do what, the level that it wound up getting to.
If I would tell you that Rhea Ripley comes back before SummerSlam and Liv Morgan, I don't know, somewhere along the line, Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio are together or whatever, could that match main event SummerSlam for the Pharaoh?
Why not?
Would you be engulfed in it? Would you be engulfed in it? Would you be like, this is an awesome main event?
I would like it. I think Liv has been great as a heel, don't you? Liv has been fantastic. I think she's been great. This whole thing with Dominic has been great.
I think Liv has done a fantastic job, and I think when Rhea comes back as the conquering hero, it's going to be crazy.
Right. You know what's unfortunate, Mike? And we both know it too. We're talking about man-women combinations, and they blew it with Karrion Kross, period. Because that man-woman combination with Scarlett was fantastic in NXT. They really, really dropped one there.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make a statement, dude. Now I realize why Karrion Kross has never made it. I never understood it when I think he was in TNA for a while. I was surprised AEW didn't try to sweep him up. He just doesn't have it. As much as he's got a great look and as much as he's pretty good on the mic and he's a good wrestler, he doesn't have it, man. He had it in NXT for a bit, but I think when Vince kind of fucked with that whole thing, it all went away and he can't get it back. Yep. And I almost feel like he does he's taking I almost feel like he doesn't take it serious enough. If he said to Triple H, let me shave my head, let me go back to that character, Triple H would say, go ahead. But I think he's more vain, and he wants to have the long hair with the ponytail, and he's almost setting himself up to be a manager type of guy in a way. Listen, dude, he just doesn't have it. I don't even know why they're carrying him around anymore. And I got to tell you, making Scarlett go to brown hair, lost it.
They changed everything, and what's in a look? Everything. Everything's in a look. He had the great look in NXT, the bald head with the facial hair and the psychotic eyes, and he made his sentences count. They were short and sweet. He pulverized you like a villain Goldberg. You had that evil blonde bitch in the corner doing all sorts of things to help him win. Absolutely perfect. There was no reason to fuck with it, but they fucked with it. And he obviously doesn't give a shit enough about his own character and his own furthering in this business, because I'd be screaming at them what you just said. Let me shave my head. Who dyed Scarlett's hair this color? What the fuck's going on?
Bro, here's
here?
a great comment, and I know it can't be true, but Matt Sharkey's weighing in. He says Samantha Irvin and Cody Rhodes are having an affair. That's why Ricochet wants out.
Matt Sharkey hates the WWE, doesn't he?
He does, always, nonstop. He's like, this sucks, this sucks,
Well,
this sucks.
At least Matt's being.
Hey, Matt, at least we realize you're out there, bro. Yeah, we read your stuff, so we read everybody's stuff.
He's very consistent. He's like the Lou Gehrig of the anti-WWE. He's like, plays every game.
He does.